Hey, how's it going, all you lovely people at Shut Door or Door Shutter, coming back to you with a brand new episode of All the Mods 9. We're kind of taking a little bit of a break from the Direwolf 20 pack because tomorrow we're going to be doing a live stream where we're going to be breeding a crap ton of bees. So we're going to kind of just hop over here and play a little bit of All the Mods 9. And today we're actually going to be looking at getting power generation. We're going to kind of go with what I did in the alpha version of the pack, which is the Power Thermo generators. These things right here are just absolutely fantastic generation sources. They aren't too expensive once you kind of get towards getting blaze powder, because you do need quite a bit of it. You also need quite a bit of redstone, but luckily Greg Tech has helped us out with that, with the redstone veins that mod has. And so definitely no problems on redstone. I think we have about 6,000 redstone. So let's get what we need to get. Okay, so the basic capacitors we need from Power. So we need iron and dielectric paste. So let's grab that. So dielectric paste is clay, blaze powder, two things of coal. That'll give us 16 per crafting operation. Let's quickly just toss some of that into here. Fantastic. So then we could go for the basic capacitors. Let's just grab 32. Perfect. It's actually what I wanted. And then we could split these down. So let's go for at least 16 of these. So that'll give us 32 small capacitors. And then we're just going to go all we have on that. Let's actually grab just a little bit more blaze rods. And should be able to get the rest of these. 32, perfect. And then we need some dielectric casing, which requires dielectric rods. So we're just going to make up some iron bars. Nothing too fancy. That's fine. And we'll just take one stack, convert it to dielectric rods the other direction. And I think about 4 of these, maybe 6 of them. Let's go 6. Let's try 6. And then we need some more capacitors. So let's go for 8. Perfect. Oh, and these do not stack. I forget about that crap. There we go. So we got all 5 of those. And then we can do this again to get another tier, which is the basic tier. So the basic tier is just a little bit better. Nothing to write home about, I would say, but it is pretty decent. Okay, so we just need more basic capacitors, which requires more redstone. Let's just drop this in the world real quick. Perfect. And then let's get actual blocks of this. How many do we need? Just 2? 2 sets, probably. And iron, because I just used that drawer controller. Forgot about that. So 1. That actually should be enough, right? For both of them, because you get 4. Okay. All right, so let's quickly take a look at our fuel sources, or heat sources in this case. So it looks like lava's probably going to be our best bet. We can get blocks of blazing crystals in the future. These aren't that difficult. It looks like we have switched up the recipe just a wee bit. I'm going to assume these are different as well. No, okay. But this is the whole energizing system as well, so we're not going to really worry about that right now. So we're going to stick with these basic generators. These should give us enough power for... So let's get a little shack set up, I think, for our power system. The end goal, basically, is to get refined storage. We're going to shoot for refined storage this season and see if what we can get done here. So I think what I want to do... Yeah, I'm going to probably build a little shack right over here. All right, so we got to get some lava. To get the lava, we're actually going to quickly make up a basic empty tank from Mechanism, which requires 4 redstone, 4 iron, and nothing else, which is a fantastic option. We really don't need buckets in this case, because we can actually shift and then scroll to turn on bucket mode. And that will allow for us to go pick up some lava out of the nether. You could use this for anything, of course. Lava, water, whatever you need to pick up. But it's a fantastic option. And I kind of forget that the bucket mode exists a lot of the time, so I kind of want to use it. So let's quickly run over here. Yoink. Let's take out this guy real quick, so we can continue on what we're doing. Man, he is, like, tanky. I'm used to being able to one-shot everything from the Direwolf 20 pack, by the way. Okay, I think we've drained this pool. So that is 27 buckets out of 32. So let's keep on snagging. Oh, are we full? Okay, we're full. Let's head back. So that's all we needed. That's a fantastic, easy operation. Now let's get back over to the thermo generators. Quickly, please. Quickly, please. Goodness gracious, there's so many of them. Oh, now you're in my world. And you got your buddies to protect you, bud. I'm glad, because there was a lot of them. Okay. Let's get in here, which is what I've created. Nothing too fancy, just kind of, you know, completed. So let's see. How do I place? Let me get rid of the food out of my other hand. Okay, so shift click to place the fluid while on bucket mode. Perfect. Of course, make sure you don't make your area out of flammable materials, because that could catch fire. Is this off center? Just a wee bit. I'll fix that later. But yeah, let's get the thermo generators placed down. Doodle-doo. Get this out of my inventory. So we're just going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And of course, we have space for plenty more of these, because we probably will use them. And then what I want to do is also, we could actually put more in here, and we just take out this row, and we could take out this row. So I think what I'll do is I'll probably put a sink right here. That should work. And of course, I'm just going to cover this up for now, because we really don't need that. Okay. So let's go get a sink. We shouldn't have any problems with that. I just wanted to make sure they didn't change the recipe on me. So it's nothing too crazy. So we need iron. Also, one of the good things about having a storage system is we won't have to do all the running around that I'm currently doing to get to my chest. This is a massive base for some reason. Not even that big. It's just massive. It's like a starter base. And so it's a little bit more difficult getting around. But that's okay. Let's go grab some buckets of water. So I don't actually have a... Oh, I do have a sink right here. Hold on. Save myself some time. There we go. So now let's grab another sink. And let's look at item pipes. Or not item pipes, but fluid pipes. Oh, there's actually information on these? What? Is that a new thing? Or is this all the Mods 9 doing this? Interesting. I don't think I've ever noticed that. If that is a new feature. I've got nothing on that one. Okay. So, fluid pipes, and then what we want to do after that is probably get an upgrade, which I have a basic one, which should be decent enough. Just so we can make sure everything's going. Do we have a wrench of any kind, though? We can make a pipe wrench. We can actually make a normal pipe wrench for once. Hold on. Doodle-doo, where is flint? Right there. And then 2 sticks. So just this. Pipe wrench. Perfect. Let's get this placed down. Alright, so we're placing that right here. We're just going to run our fluid pipes just along this way. And we're going to put our wrench into action. There we go. And then these should fill up with coolant, which then should allow for us to start generating power. Beautiful. Okay, so with the power generation, these are 80 FE a tick, right? And the 100%, by the way, just means that we are basically at the level of 1,000 degrees, I believe is what this is. Hold on, let me see. Because so 1,000 degrees Celsius. That means that we are basically at 100%, right? And then if we go to the blazing crystal, we'll be above 100%. If we go above that, then we'll be even further above 100%. So basically, that's your baseline, right? This would give you basically 80%, I think, and this was giving you 100. So Fantastic. Of course, the higher percentage, the more FE you get per tick, or RF, what do you want to call it. And so that is fantastic. And you can see these guys already filled up. They only hold 80,000 FE a tick, which I mean, with 6 of them there, it's a pretty decent amount. Okay. So let's look at power once more. And I want to look at a cell, I think is what this is called. Yeah, energy cell. So this should actually allow for us to store just a little bit more power while we work on refined storage stuff. Let's see. So go over here, starter. So we're going to need all of this stuff out. Okay, so dielectric casing. I'll just toss that for now. Energy starter cell. And then we could probably get this to go one more. And then a couple of these capacitors. Actually, let me just toss this deep slate back in here. And we'll grab whatever else we need. So we just probably need to grab iron back. A handful of these. Okay. And so that should give us the ability to make the basic capacitor we need. And then convert that basic capacitor down into tiny capacitors. Should give us another starter cell. And this can give us the basic tier. Fantastic. So, of course, this doesn't really give us too much storage. 4 million, which I mean is actually pretty decent for what this is. But the starter one only gave us 1 million. So this should help us out in the long run. And then we probably want to try and get energy pipes. Pipes. And I think once we get into Ender IO and stuff, we'll look at changing out these pipes just because then we could have it run down one line. I always just like that because it looks cooler. It looks a little bit more complex with the fact that you only have one line coming out of it rather than 2 or 3 or whatever you're doing. Okay, so there. And of course, we don't have any pipe upgrades for these, so it's going to be a little slow. Oh well, we'll get over it. I think this thing can only take in 4,000 FE a tick, can it? So, nothing too insane that we need to worry about. So, basic cell. Just get up here. And we're just going to plop this to output on all of them. Fantastic. So that is just some normal power generation, okay? And of course, we probably will deck this out with another 2 in a while. I'll probably do that off camera. All right, so what do we want to look at with refined storage? One thing I wanted to look at, of course, we have reborn storage in here, which if you don't know what this is, basically it's going to allow for us to kind of have the Applied Energistics original crafting system in refined storage. If you don't know what the Applied Energistics original crafting system was, basically think about how a crafter crafts like normal recipes. For example, if you wanted to have hundreds of these normal recipes, you know, making sticks, energy pipes, things you can craft at a crafting table, take that and basically make a multi-block structure, and you would basically have what reborn storage is. Now, there is a little bit more to it than that, but it's a multi-block that allows for us to kind of store a ton of different patterns, depending on the size of the multi-block and the actual components you have inside of it. It allowed for you to store more patterns that aren't processing, just crafting, inside of it. So you're not going and making hundreds of crafters to fit 9 patterns. You can actually fit way more, pages upon pages, to actually satisfy your needs in a sense. It's a very fantastic thing overall, and I'm excited to look at it. I'm hoping that refined storage has a little bit of its kinks worked out. So I'm just hoping we can get through it just a little bit easier because I know we have had those issues in the past. So let's get looking at this stuff, okay? So one of the things that I want to look at first is the controller, right? And we're going to have to figure out the basic crafting components, which is raw basic processors, advanced, and improved. So that's not going to be too difficult, but let's look at disk drive. Let's bookmark these. So disk drive, controller, and we're also going to want a crafting grid, but we'll grab bookmark grid as well. And then we're going to want to have a drive, or disk in this case. So what kind of disks do we have? Because I know we probably have from other mods. We do have like 256k and up from extra discs. And this actually gives us an elite disc manipulator. So we have cable tiers in here, which is going to make things interesting. Cable tiers, if you don't know, just adds better importers, exporters, um, destructors. I don't know what that is. I've never actually looked into those. Mega requesters, elite interfaces. So different requesters, different interfaces. I would assume they either have more storage or they have faster speeds. I know that these have more slots, and they also just have faster speeds in general. But yeah, the constructors and the destructors, I don't ever remember seeing those. So those may be newer, or I just may have never really fully looked at that mod. But yeah, so refined. I think we'll probably get to at least 64k. That's probably a good starting point. And if we want to go higher, we probably can. But we do need these discs to actually store our items. And we'll need to get silicone. I forgot about that. How do we go about that? So quartz smelting. Quartz smelting. That's not going to be a problem, I don't think. Where is my quartz? I have some, so we can actually get started here, and we will have to automate this stuff. We're gonna have to get to the point of getting probably mystical agriculture sooner or later. I know that's gonna be a thing, but for right now, we are kind of taking this slow. I don't know 100% why we're taking this so slow, but we are. Um, the biggest thing with this pack, and I will say this, just it is a lot. All the mods 9, and one of the reasons I didn't play all the mods 8 that much, or back whenever it first came out, is because honestly it's overwhelming. I've been playing modded Minecraft for years now, and honestly I've never seen a pack with so many mods. And whenever I see this and understand how many mods genuinely are in here, it is overwhelming. Like outright overwhelming. There is so many things to do in this pack that honestly it's terrifying. And I'm glad that they have, the quest and all of that. I There's just so much, genuinely so much stuff in here that it is just mind-boggling. Also, I don't know what I'm grabbing. I'm just grabbing all the rewards from this because I know we're going to use them in the future. Ooh, energizing rods, basic tier. Fantastic. And also some energy cables from Powa, which I don't prefer these because they are a little bit more expensive than most other cables. So I kind of just go with Powa, or go with the energy pipes from Pipes. Okay, so we're getting silicone. And what we also need to look at is getting raw advanced processors, which are going to need some sort of slime ball. I don't think we have actually any source of slime ball. So let's start trying to take a peek at, what do you call it? At mystical agriculture, right? We haven't really looked at it that much, but I think it's kind of time that we start, because we're going to need it, right? We are going to need some sort of resource generation, and mystical agriculture basically is your end all be all in this pack. I guess you could say bees as well if you really wanted to go that route. But I'm currently doing bees in the Direwolf 20 pack, so I'm not going that direction at all. Because the problem with bees is it's just like how the original, bees back in the day were. I don't even remember the name of the mod until Gendustry came out, and that made everything a lot better. But bees back in the day were a nightmare, and now they've just made it more 3D, So it's not as fun as I would like, but oh well. So we will look at mystical agriculture and what we need to do. So mystical agriculture, we need to look at getting an infusion pedestal and an infusion altar. So we will need to get some red wool, which I'm hoping I have some red flowers or beets or something in here. We have red bush. Perfect. I just said red bush. It's a rose bush. Goodness gracious. And then we will need to grab some wool. Perfect. So we only need one infusion altar. So let's grab some gold. Let's grab some stone. Where is my stone? I know I have it. Have I thrown it into a backpack somewhere? Or do I just not have any more? Nope, it's right here. Fantastic. Okay. I don't remember where I put things, so that's fine. Okay, so one infusion altar and then 8 infusion pedestals. So we're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Perfect. And then let's shift to craft those. And that should be everything we need to get this started. So we're going to probably start with the basic seeds, which are the Inferium seeds. We're just going to place this down here. Place all 8 of our pedestals. Hopefully correctly. Perfect. And then we're going to look at getting the Inferium seeds, right? So Inferium, there should be a seed. Perfect right there. And that is just wheat seeds surrounded with this. This is actually stuff that you should probably get before you kind of get the pedestal and everything. But for right now, that's fine. We have a handful. So let's just get a handful of these. Could you imagine if Mystical Agriculture had a like a gene system with their plants, like crossbreeding and stuff? You know how cool that would be. You know how terrible that would also be though, because you genuinely would probably get to the point where you are constantly, like waiting. That would be like for an expert pack, like an expert pack version of Mystical Agriculture, where you have genes that actually affect growth and everything. That actually sounds like a fantastic idea. If anybody makes that, you know, make sure you tag me in it because I would love to see something like that. And also, I'd love credit because I came up with that, right? No, I think there used to be mods that did that. I know, like FTB1, we played with the TAC members. There was a lot of the chickens, like gene pool stuff. Overall, that was an interesting concept, but man, that it does take just a lot of time. Adding things like productive bees does, where it's like the breeder and all of that stuff, makes it so much easier because you're not having to do the breeding manually or anything like that. But for the most part, it was just still a pain to do the bees. But, you know, adding utility blocks or utilities in general to your mod definitely makes things better. Okay, so what do we want to look at with these mystical agriculture seeds? So we actually need to look at tiers, right? So we've got tier 2, tier 3, and tier 3. So we're not going to be able to really get any of these right now because we need more essence. We need more of that Inferium essence to kind of get that start. So we are going to have to look at that, and I'm hoping that these won't take too long. The Lily Pad of Fertility only being 1 isn't going to help us that much, but it'll help us some. Okay, so the next thing that I'm thinking is we do need to look at the base seeds in this pack, which are the elemental seeds. The elemental seeds really don't help us currently, but they will help us at the end of the day once we get towards the higher tiers. And of course, there's, you know, dirt, wood, ice, deep slate, magical? What is magical? Oh, pain. That's what that is. Pain. You don't need to put magical. You just need to put pain. Anyway. Azure, Crimson. So yeah, these are all added by all the mods 9. And then we go back to nature, dye, nether. So yeah, we've got a whole bunch of seeds. But these element ones aren't too expensive to craft. You just kind of need to get to that point. But I think we'll do that in the next episode. So we kind of have that a little bit of a start. And also, we will need to grab a lever for this, by the way, because you need a redstone signal. I think a lever or a button. Doesn't really matter. Button's probably easier. So if we actually just did this, this would actually be a redstone signal to actually activate your crafting recipe whenever you place your items, because it doesn't just auto start crafting. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, we're going to wrap this one up here. And this has been enjoyable. I know we've kind of bounced around a little bit, looking at refined storage to realizing, hey, we don't have enough resources for this, to then, you know, settling on mystical agriculture just a wee bit, because we're going to have to kind of plow through this a little. And I think we might need to start looking at getting some apotheosis enchants, getting the capturing enchants, things like that, to then get slime balls and catalyzing glands and stuff to get the lily pad of fertility automated, because that's one thing we did in the alpha version, and we probably need to do that again, because these fertilizing essence and overall lily pad of fertility is just a fantastic thing, because basically you can put them under it under the actual farmland. You can put them around it, and it'll basically increase the speed at which this operates by tenfold. We actually could look at red fertilizer, which does speed things up a little bit. I probably will look at this next episode. I know it exists, and then we'll actually probably put that on our crops because it will speed things up, and it also stacks with the lily pads of fertility. So that's something to think about. But anyway, thank you guys. Stay awesome. Can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye bye.